And welcome to Women Speakers Association's WSATV. I'm Laura Rubenstein, your producer and host of this special anniversary show as we round the final bend of 2021 and our celebrations of our 10th anniversary. We're going to land today on the perfect topic, which is continuing our growth and transformation and how Women Speakers Associations helps us to do that. And today we have the perfect premier members to help guide us through this, to help enlighten us on how Women Speakers Association is really all about helping you continue to grow, continue to flourish, and make the lasting impact that you desire. So let's go say hi to them. Hi, Anita.
Hello, Laura. It's great to be here. My name is Anita Russell. I'm a transformational life coach. You can find me online at theplacetosoar.com. And I have been a member of Women Speakers Association since 2015.
Woohoo! So glad to have you here, Anita. And Anne Marie.
Hi, Laura. So great to be here. And my name is Anne Marie Dekker. I'm a transformational coach. You can find me at fordlovescoaching.com. And I've been a member since its inception, WSA inception. And I am in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
Wonderful. Great to have you here, Emery. And so long to be on the journey with you. I too have been here since 2011. And Michelle, hi.
Happy birthday, Women Speakers Association. I'm Michelle St. Jane, living legend, author, speaker, and socio-audio influencer. And you can find me on LinkedIn.
Wonderful to have you here too. So given that you're all in the spirit of transformation and living legends, I wanted to ask you all this question about what's the vision that you see for Women Speakers Association and the role it has in supporting women in continuing their growth and the transformation they seek. Anita?
So I would love to see the continued growth of the Global Business Connector concept. I've had the fortune of being a Global Business Connector in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I think almost since the beginning, not quite, but pretty close to the very beginning. And I like the GBC role. What I like about it is that it's a work in progress, and that the Women Speakers Association leaders don't take a one-size-fits-all approach. So it's still relatively new, and it's taken a lot of effort to help business women such as myself to kind of figure out how to retrofit the Global Business Connector role into what I was already doing without it necessarily feeling like another business. And so it complements and it expands what it is I do. So I see the Global Business Connector role as an opportunity to kind of co-create an expansion of the Women Speakers Association as the visibility platform for women to be seen and heard.
And what I love about what you said, Anita, is that the Global Business Connectors are all about that. It's another mechanism, another way that Women Speakers Association, and we've evolved over the 10 years, and Anne-Marie, I hope you can speak to that, how we've evolved into that continuing growth and transformation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. What Anita was just saying, it's just been amazing, the growth that happened over especially the last 3 years. It's, and it's just all the different programs that are being put together by the team and by Gail. It is really exciting. That's why I stay a member, is because you just don't know what's next. And that is what's so exciting. It's as I always say in when I do coaching, is start with a beginner's mind, because even as an expert, you've got to stay free to learn other things. So it's wonderful. Like you said, Anita, the Global Business Connector, fabulous for many people. But it's also the connection with each other, with each other's members. It's it's just so satisfying to find other members who think almost alike. And so
Exactly.
it's really great to be part of this.
Yeah, it is. And I love that you bring up the beginner's mind and how we're always constantly evolving. And that's what it is. So not only do we help women evolve themselves, we're evolving with you and staying in that beginner's mind. And speaking of beginner's mind, Dr. Michelle, you've been here just this year, and I know you've had an interesting experience. So please tell us how you see Women Speakers Association continuing and supporting the continued growth and transformation of women.
We have a prime example of this right here. The wisdom is in the room with Anne-Marie, and the professionalism and the outreach is there with Anita. So I'm an absolute newbie. I've only been here just over 6 months. And in the 6 months, I have joined the book collaboration for voices. And the fact that I can collaborate makes it more exciting with a community. And this month, I just joined as a global business connector, because what tells you you're in the right place when people are saying, oh, you're writing a book, who are you doing it with? How are you still got your speaker's profile up and chasing opportunities to speak? You know, I really love the encouragement and introduction and the energy about being able to be a remote speaker, a virtual speaker, and how the experience and the energy and the excitement that's within the group, it's just amazing.
I love that. And this is a perfect segue into my next question, Dr. Michelle, because I want to know about each of you, the specific, how has Women Speakers Association and our community really empowered your personal growth and transformation and business growth and transformation? So Anita, maybe you can speak to that.
Yeah, I'd actually like to piggyback a little bit off of what Dr. Michelle said, because she mentioned the books, the Voices series, and I've had the opportunity to participate in 2 of those books as an author. And I also had the opportunity to kind of be interviewed by Women Speakers Association in an article that appeared in the Soar to Success magazine. So that opportunity for me to kind of use my writing skills to be an author, to kind of put myself out there as an author that's associated with Women Speakers Association has been pretty incredible. But I want to talk a little bit about the article, because in the article in Source to Success magazine, there were 3 things that I talked about that Women Speakers Association has meant for myself personally, as well as for my business. And those 3 things are leverage, access, and visibility. So these are really, really simple words, but they're also really powerful words. And they describe this collaborative flow within the Women Speakers Association platform. And that flow kind of provides the space for my message. And my message is around cultivating change from the inside out. That message gets seen and heard around the world as a result of me being connected to Women Speakers Association. Yet the flow is synergistic and it's multi-directional. And what I mean by that is that I also get to see the faces and hear the voices of other women, many other women with powerful messages. So it's this dynamic business and social exchange platform that nurtures relationships, it fosters influence, and it definitely fuels win-win dialogue. So that's what Women Speakers Association has meant for me from the very beginning.
That's amazing. And the fact that you're in this article and you've got that leverage and you were able to kind of speak about your involvement with Women Speakers Association, it's like really elevating what you can talk about. So I love that. So Anne-Marie, how about you? Over the years, how has Women Speakers Association really empowered your growth and transformation?
Well, if I could had a mind and I could repeat everything Anita said, that's what I would say. So thank you, Anita, for saying that. And I just want to tell you, I was one in the first book. And it was so exciting when that idea came up. And you're in this group of people and you don't know each other, and yet you're sharing ideas, you're sharing your emotions, you're sharing your feelings. That is what Women Speakers Association is all about. It's really about you as a person. It's really about unselfish sharing with others. And you know, that's what it means to me. That's what Women Speakers Association means to me. And having seen that growth, I can only know that any further growth will be just substantial.
Yeah. And what you're pointing to, I think, if you can verify that, is this is a really safe place.
Mhm.
And that's where growth happens, in safe places.
Absolutely. You're right. Yeah.
So we make it safe for you to bring what you're afraid to bring out in the world, or any trepidation you have. It's just like, nope, you're safe. No problem. No fear, right? So Dr. Michelle, tell us a little bit more about being new here on the scene, jumping in with both feet into the book, to the Global Business Connector. How has that actually empowered your growth and transformation?
Well, Anita touched on it perfectly. Global visibility. I mean, I'm already out there, but now I'm honing my craft of how to be out there. And then, of course, as Anne-Marie said, you're in all this wisdom. You're with these conscious, caring voices who will reach out. If you do a shout out, I need some help, somebody will be there, or someone will direct you to someone who can. And I think the litmus test is how WSA has continued to grow in the last 2 tough years. And it's also mirrored for me as well, because I had to outgrow yesterday's belief. I can't just step up on a podium and speak to people and engage. And WSA has given me the opportunity to unfold tomorrow's possibilities and create new realities in the present, right now. If I need to reach out and have a conversation, the right support's going to be there, or I'm guided. And that is such a blessing.
Oh, well said. I love it. I just see so much positivity flowing for the next 10 years of our organization here, with the energy that you bring. And it's really you all who make a difference. So I want to ask you each, what piece of advice would you give women to continue their growth and transformation? And Anita, why don't you start us off?
What piece of advice? I would say that one of the key things that I've learned, not just being involved in Women Speakers Association, but just being involved as a business owner, is that you have to find the right ingredients to create your recipe for success. And for whatever it is that you're serving into the world, you have to know, what does that mean for you? And so one of the things that I did was I kind of created my own recipe for success. And I'm one of those kind of people who love acronyms. So I just think of acronyms on this regular basis. And so my recipe for success is actually an acronym of the word success, right? And so it starts off with significance, and that's about making a difference in the lives of others. Then we move to uniqueness, which is about embracing the uniqueness not only within yourself, but within the people around you as well. And then we have connection, and that's recognizing the human connection in all people. And then change, cultivating change from the inside out, and then out into from the inside first, and then out into the world. And then empower, which is breaking barriers and disrupting limiting beliefs. And then share, because you have to recognize that someone needs to hear the message that you have. And then finally, it's about seizing opportunity, which is acting with urgency, expectation, and faith. And above all, you must be the success that you want to see. And so I look at all of that within the context of Women Speakers Association, and all of those pieces that I mentioned show up on this platform, that uniqueness and that connection and opportunities and sharing and all of that. So there's such a really cool synergy between how I view success and what Women Speakers Association has to offer me.
Oh, I love that acronym. It's so perfect. Thank you. And Anne-Marie, what would you add to that in terms of what advice can you give women to continue their growth and transformation?
It's very little I could add to that. She really, Anita, you gave it. And I just want to go back to connection and the sharing unselfishly sharing. And it goes back to Dr. Michelle. She and I met, and then we started to connect. And it's when we were talking that she said, "Oh, I want you to meet so-and-so." Oh, and it is just like Anita says, that synergy. That is, you want to do something for others. And that is what's so beautiful, because in so many other organizations, it's all about, this is mine. I don't know how much I want to share. And Women Speakers Association is not about that at all.
We're quite the opposite. It's like, how much more? Oh, stop me from sharing. Right? Oversharing. Well, great. Thank you, Anne-Marie. And that's beautiful advice. And Dr. Michelle, what advice do you have for women to continue in their growth and transformation?
Well, I will borrow one of Anita's wonderful words in her acronym, unique. We have a unique message at any age. And what I love about the Women Speakers Association is we have people from every, all the different decades and generations. And I'm an intergenerational collaborator. I love that. That excites me. But some of us are leading the way because we've been speakers for decades. And I also appreciate what Anne-Marie said, how she was pointing out that there is this generosity of spirit. And Anne-Marie is my wise woman. I just love her wisdom. In fact, she's in the business of wisdom. So my advice would be, it doesn't matter what age you are. Frankly, myth bust and tradition break. Lean into your legacy and be the legend you've got time to be. You may be living to 100. How would you be living different if you've got decades ahead of you, instead of society conditioning to say, oh, you're done. Move over, old lady. Well, this old lady ain't moving. She's hustling. And, join those who are successful and flourishing and share their wisdom in newer, more authentic ways. And this is one thing WSA does beautifully. So my tip would be, get over age. It's a number, and get on with what is it that you feel passionate about? What makes you dance to work? What makes you get up in the morning and dance like nobody's watching? Well, have at it.
I love that. And again, it's the perfect segue for this next question, Dr. Michelle, which is, what is possible for women by being a part of Women Speakers Association? I think you all hinted at it, but I want you to just drive it home to those women who are watching, who are like, I might just need this. What is possible, Anita?
Well, I'm going to kind of look at Anne-Marie, given the fact that she has been with Women Speakers Association since the very beginning. That in and of itself speaks of possibility. And the way she talked about how she's witnessed herself, how the organization, the community has grown over the course of time. Possibility is what that's all about. But I'd like to share a little bit of a quick story that when I first met Gail, and Gail Watson is the CEO of Women Speakers Association. And I can remember the very first conversation that I had with her. It was around the Voices Project, the first Voices Project that I was involved in. And I was kind of in a really, really low place because I had just published my first independent book project. And it didn't go well. Like the publishing and the writing and all of that went well, but it was the marketing piece. And I had no idea how I was supposed to market this book. I knew it was great and all of that. But I will never forget the empowering conversation that I had with Gail when she was telling me about Women Speakers Association in general, but she was talking specifically about me becoming one of the collaborative authors for the book. And she talked to me about exactly that, the possibilities. We can help you. We can get you in a different place, because she understood where I was coming from with the disappointment with my first book. And I didn't really know what I was doing and all of that. But she just kind of welcomed me in and said, we'll show you how to do it. And now both of my independent projects are also on the WSA bookstore. So that one conversation is what really opened up the door of possibility and allowed me to kind of walk through that door, because Gail personally invited me to do that.
Yeah, the personal attention within the community, we will reach out with you, and it's not just the leaders, it's all the members, it's the global business connectors, it's other members who are participating in the Facebook group. So you're right, we will help you get to where you want to go, even in the face of disappointments. Anne-Marie, how about you? What is the possibility that you see for women by being a part of our community?
Well, I just want to add to what Anita just said about the experience that she had with the publishing, being, a collaborative author. I mean, that first book was so exciting, trying to make sure that we became #1 on Amazon.com. And then we weren't only #1 on Amazon.com, but we were #1 internationally. And that excitement from the time when the publisher told us, oh, you can wait, it's probably around 8:00 New York time when we will know. And she was so shocked how we already were #1, I think by 5 a.m. or close to it that morning. And that is truly exciting. And that's what I mean, is that is just not only the connection, it's what you're given, how you celebrate it, how you celebrate with others. It is really that excitement. And I just can't wait for other things to come in the pipeline.
And we love celebrating. We love celebrating being best-selling authors. On December 16th, we're doing an open call to premier members who want to come and celebrate their wins of 2021. That'll be our show then. And Dr. Michelle, I wanted to ask you, what do you see as possible for women? Because you started saying, throw age out the door and go live your best dream. So what have you seen, and what can you see for these women?
If you can dream it up, it's possible. They don't have to come. You need to turn up. And a big thank you to Laura, because you've led the Voices 5 project, and you've been a wonderful guide and steward of a lot of authors. So a very big thank you to you. I'm a speaker who likes to write. So I have literally had to figure out, how do I continue to speak, which I love, but how do I follow my dream of writing? So I really resonate with what Anita said. I don't mind failing fast and quietly, but a book can be awfully out there and loud. And the nice thing is, I learned today, actually, in a training session with WSA, that you can repurpose previous book projects. Mm-hmm. I have a whole doctorate to turn into a book, but I thought of doing that. What I love is the fact that we can do this in community, and anything is possible. I am in talks with WSA to create a Living Legends faculty. I'm in talks of doing a Living Legends book collaboration, and I'm in talks about doing an in-person by invitation conference in Bermuda, and making a virtual side to that as well, so anyone can join us around the globe. But in person, you'll get to meet the faculty in person, kind of a bit of Branson, Necker Island there, but on a prettier place. So I love, Anne-Marie is a great example of all that you can do, but I would also add, you can pivot. You don't have to be a lawyer for life, or an accountant for life, or a caregiver for life. With the amount of support that we have in WSA, if you dream it up and you turn up, someone will be here to help you. And if you get stuck, if you ask, you'll be shown another path. I mean, how often, ladies, do we find that? We hold up over half the world, but we often do it on our own. And it's what I most value is the celebrating and validating of women, breaking the barrier of invisibility. It's time.
It is time. And thank you all for doing that, doing exactly what you just said, Dr. Michelle, breaking that barrier of invisibility. You all are shining examples of going outside of the box, growing, taking on your own transformation. And what I heard from you today was that when women join the Women Speakers Association, we support you in continuing your growth, to do what's possible, to be your uniquely beautiful self. And the resources are here. The opportunities to help you do that are here. And the safe space to grow is here. So we welcome you at joinwsa.com anytime you want. And if you'd like to just put your toe in the water, we do have this Speaker Success Plan for you at speakersuccessplan.com. Come back again, watch us on WSATV. We're always here with inspiring women who are making a difference in the world and that impact. And if you are one of them, join us. Thanks, ladies, so much for being here. And we'll see you in our next 10 years. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Laura.